Astrid, we were talking about leaving seed heads on.
Yes.
That can get a little weedy, but it's important, right?
Yes, and I'd say that there are some plants that actually look quite lovely as they're going to seed and look beautiful even in a winter garden. Like, here we think a lot about once the frost hits, we're all inside watching TV or reading books or planning our garden for next year. But there are some beautiful structural plants that hold their seed heads for a long time and feed birds into the late fall and winter. And one of them is coneflower for sure. And you can see even right now, this hasn't gone to seed yet, but look at that beautiful head. So what will happen is as that flower dies back, the petals will die back and eventually fall off, and you'll be left with this structure on a long sturdy stem that looks quite pretty in the garden for a while and feeds birds. The birds will come and eat those seeds. Also, it will help to allow the plant to seed around itself, and then you get new plants that you can put in different parts of your garden. So keeping things a little bit less tidy at the end of the year can, first of all, give you a little more time to do other things and just enjoy your garden. And also leave some food for birds and shelter for insects, because insects also overwinter in stems and in leaf litter, and that really helps them have habitat for for when they're hibernating.
So the plant doesn't need to be standing up. I can just cut off this Cosmo and leave the stems on the ground for an insect too. So that could kind of mitigates the messiness.
Yes, if there are things that are unattractive, one way to deal with them is to cut them back like that and chop them up into little pieces and leave those around just as mulch. They'll just break down. The other thing about that is it scatters the seeds around, which feeds the wildlife and leaves everything in the garden. And then in the spring, you'll start to learn to recognize, especially when you start to grow things from seed, which is a very economical way to have a pollinator garden, you'll start to notice the little seedlings, and then you can selectively weed them out or move them around.
That sounds great.
Yeah.